A couple of lessons. Thank you for your very kind words, Mr. Zaidi. I would hasten to add that while I might be called the crisis manager for the moment, but I think hundreds and thousands of employees, former employees, partners, distributors, farmers, consumers, they helped us to come out of this terrible crisis that we faced. I think a few lessons that we learned. Number one is that a crisis of this kind is more than technical facts. It is perspectives and perceptions that really matter. Our initial response was more on facts, whereas we underestimated that Maggi as a brand was so much more impactful with the consumers. And so therefore when we started the conversation with not only with the environment but also with the media, we brought to bear the power of the brand and what we stood for as a company that is of the highest food quality and safety. So that was the first one. Second one was, I think we learned a lesson that any movement in the environment, a company should be on top of it in terms of gauging how impactful it is going to be. Number three is the power of partnerships. I think we realized in that crisis that we had so many well-wishers. The consumer was our well-wisher. Our partners were well-wishers, and therefore they also started helping us in all that we did. The fourth one is the power of teamwork. I think I'm very proud of the culture of the company, Mr. Zaidi, because during that, nowadays in any small crisis, people, stakeholders, employees, they run to the media and make wild statements on the company. But I'm very proud that during that entire period, not one employee past or present, not one partner, not one distributor, no one went, not one shareholder went to the media and made any derogatory statements on the company that would have vitiated our coming out of the crisis. And last but not the least, I think what we learned is that a crisis is a very good time to make change. You can jettison all the things that are not serving the purpose of adding value to the consumer and put in things that add value to the consumer. So one of the things we did was we quickened our pace of innovation. We were an innovative company, but rather slow in innovation. So today we innovate at about 4 times the rate of what we were doing pre-crisis. We have introduced almost 150 to 160 new products, and we accepted the dictum that failing to succeed will help us to succeed to succeed. So all of this are the lessons that we have learned. And yes, today when I demit office, it's a stronger company, it's a more vibrant company, it's a more connected company. We were a very reticent company to begin with. We used to hardly talk about anything. Today we are a more open company, and I think that helps us to be that way. The FSSAI, whom I respect a lot as the food regulator of the country, has come a very long way. I think wise leadership and the intervention by the government has helped in recognizing the fact that testing facilities were inadequate. Today, there are a number of NABL accredited laboratories across the country. I think testing protocols are much more stringent, much more contemporary and much more professional. And the overall conscience of the regulator and the entities involved with the regulator in terms of quality and safety monitoring has become a lot more. In fact, we ourselves as a company also have participated in the process. We have set up in our R&D facility in Manesar, which is a global facility, a Nestlé Food Safety Institute, which imparts knowledge and expertise in food quality and safety. And in fact, we work with the FSSAI to train some of the inspectors in food quality and safety as a professional. So it's got nothing to do with the brand, but it's got to do with the professional capabilities and competencies. But I must say that we have come a very long way, and in fact, it's like almost like a watershed moment, the pre and post Maggi situation. there are some people, some leaders who get crisis once in a while. And there are some leaders who either fall into a crisis or create a crisis. I am one of those. I've had a whole series of different crises. So the defining moments for me, I mean, in the Nestlé journey, 2 or 3 of them have been defining moments. One was when I was posted as the managing director of Nestlé Singapore. It coincided with the Lehman Brothers collapse. So Singapore was the first country to go into recession. I had a difficult task and a challenging task there of holding the water for the company in terms of the growth and profitability. So that was a big challenge. We did well, but it was a challenge. I went to North Africa, to Egypt at a time when everything was peaceful. And I was told by my boss that nothing ever changes in Egypt. Even the dust on the sands on the pyramids have not fallen as yet. Within a few months, Arab Spring started. So the whole region, which I was responsible for, Egypt, Libya and Sudan, went into turmoil. But again there, I think one of the lessons I learned in leadership was that if you really engage the community and engage your people, and you focus on the goal of satisfying the consumer, there is opportunity even in crisis. So we grew double digit for 5 years in a row, and we invested more in those 5 years than we invested in the previous 15. We were a company of choice with the Egyptians. And I think I had one of the best stints of my career during that period. I went to Philippines, calm, collected, nice country, beautiful place. Unfortunately, it was only for 4 months, and I came to India. The Maggi crisis for me was a defining moment for the company. I think crisis doesn't come with a calling card, and nobody invites a crisis. We don't like to invite a crisis into our organizations. But when they happen, they become times when you can do a lot of revolution and a lot of reforms in the organization. And I think that is something that has been the satisfaction that I get out of this journey. The satisfaction of leaving a strong company, the satisfaction of leaving a responsible company, a powerful company, and above all, a bunch of very hardworking, transparent, trustworthy, ethically honest and humble people to carry forward the journey. I think that for me is the biggest satisfaction. I don't know, somehow it's, I should, as one of my bosses told me when I went to Egypt, he was a European who had been posted in India. So I told him, I said, sir, when you sent me here, did you mean this Arab Spring? He said, in India, you look at something called the horoscope. Take a look at yours. Maybe it is showing something different. So I said, maybe that was the case,
So finally, what is the lesson that, or the tips that you're passing on to your successor for managing Nestlé India, and what do you expect him to do from here on?
Look, I think I'm again happy to have a very competent and a very experienced successor in Manish Tiwari. I'm not here to advise him because he's competent enough to run this business. But just 1 or 2 things that I've left him with is, one, I think the culture of this organization works to keep it that way. And number 2 is the next crisis is always around the corner. So you cannot rest on your laurels and wish that nothing is going to happen. Something will happen. It doesn't come with a calling card, but the next crisis is always around the corner, and to keep the organization vigilant for such movements. And the third part, which he is very, very competent at, is to accelerate the digital journey of the company, because that is something that we are on. We have made some progress, but with his experience, it can be even stronger.